Hello and welcome back to Whiskey Wars. Tonight we'll be reviewing this bottle of Old Tub. It is a Jim Beam product, so the question is, has Jim Beam made a good whiskey, or does it taste like dishwater like so many other reviewers have said? So Old Tub is actually a very old Jim Beam product. In fact, the original Jim Beam distillery was called Old Tub. Now, at what point it became a whiskey name is hard to say, but it has been available for sale at the distillery for a very long time. Now, you could only get it at the gift shop until recently. Now, recently they kind of redid things with this brand name, and they wanted to go back to the old ways, the way that supposedly this was originally made. And so that meant not filtering it at all except for just getting the charcoal out. And also this bottle is also bottle and bond, so it is 100 proof. So let's see if Jim Beam has actually made a good whiskey here, or if it tastes like vodka again. And bam, whiskey. There we go. All right, so let's smell this thing and see if it smells and tastes as good as all this stuff they've supposedly done to make it better. Well, kind of classic bourbon notes. Getting cherry, cinnamon, definitely brown sugar in there. Caramel, but it's light. Kind of some creaminess, but that also is a very light on the nose. And not nearly as much alcohol burn as you get in standard old Jim Beam white label, so that's a good thing. Yeah, so not too bad of a nose. Kind of reminiscent of maybe very old Barton on the nose, kind of similar in that way. But now let's put it to the true test and see what it tastes like. All right, so the taste is just like the nose tells you it would be. So you're getting a very strong cherry. That's probably the strongest flavor that you get is that cherry. You're definitely also getting some cinnamon. You are getting the brown sugar as well. And it is, you kind of get that cream taste on the palate as well. I will say this, it is a lot like Old Barton as far as the palate, but the finish is quite a bit different. So whereas very Old Barton 100 proof is more cherry and cinnamon on the finish, this is a little more like black pepper, and you get some of that barrel char. You're still getting some of that cherry, but it's more those other flavors start to take over. And I would also say that this is maybe a little harsher, a little more alcohol burn on the finish. But all in all, it is a nice sipping whiskey. I would put this at least equal with a very Old Barton 100 proof. I think the palate is actually maybe a little better, but I would say the finish is not quite as good. So that's kind of what holds it back for me, is just you're getting quite a bit more alcohol burn on the finish. So it would be nice to see Jim Beam do a little something to maybe smooth that out in some kind of way. But let's go in for one more taste and see what else we can get here. Yeah, so you're also getting kind of some citrus zest, like a fresh orange, like biting into a fresh orange. You're kind of getting that in there as well with the cherry and the vanilla and the caramel and that cinnamon. Yeah, so all in all, I think it's a very nice sipping whiskey. I think it probably gets ragged on a little more than it deserves. Yeah, I think for the $20 price range that this is in, it's a decent whiskey. I don't really have anything super negative to say about it other than the fact that the finish is a little harsher than I would like for it being only a 100 proof. It definitely drinks like it's a little hotter than that. But other than that, I think it's a pretty well put together whiskey. So good job, Jim Beam. You have a product that I like, other than your higher end stuff like your Knob Creek. So if you're looking for a Jim Beam product that isn't vodka, I would suggest this. It's a good kind of starting budget point for Jim Beam. It's out of their Jim Beam line, but still those kind of similar flavors, but in a much better way. So that's this review. I'm glad to see that Jim Beam can make a budget whiskey that isn't terrible. This one was actually pretty good. And so, as always, folks, just remember you can never have too much good whiskey.